all jokes aside, Tom needs help. Like, I'm telling you, I am reviewing this show because I like it. And we have a good time kikiing together. But I can't keep on watching this abusive relationship and just not saying anything. I feel like I'm like the family member in the room, and I know that I have like a family member who's abusive to their partner, and that we're at the family reunion and they're beating their partner up, and I'm acting like I don't see it because I don't want to get involved. This is how I feel watching this show. Katie is abusive to Tom, and I'm not doing anything but cracking some jokes. Good jokes, but still, we're all responsible for this. So this episode opens up with Stassi packing for the New Orleans bachelor and bachelorette joint parties. And the third witch in charge, Christian, not even close. Let me stop judging. Kristen shows up and helps her like pick up an outfit, and then out of nowhere the conversation turns over to Patrick, and then Stassi starts to cry and like have this full-on breakdown, and I'm just like, sweetie, because Stassi cries about Patrick throughout this whole season. Like, even in her confessionals. When the season is over, she's still crying about that dude. So I'm just like, girl, maybe you need to get back with him. You know what I mean? Maybe he's not a 10. Like, he's not everything that you wanted on the list. But it seems like he's hitting at least 7 of those things on the list out of 10. That's still pretty good. So just get back with the dude. Oh, wait, does he not want you? Is that what you're leaving out? Because you're making it seem like you guys are taking a break. But I'm just like, wait. If you're taking a break, why are you the one doing all this crying? And I haven't seen, a text or a call, nothing. I mean, has he been tweeting you? What is Patrick doing? He's not reaching out. He's not sending flowers. Stassi, were you dumped? It's okay, girl. It happens to all of us. Not I. They know when they got a good thing. But I'm just saying, oh, girl, is that what happened? Because that will explain the tears. Because she is crying over him throughout this whole season. And then this scene, she just starts bawling. And I'm like, either he dumped her, which is a possibility. Because the way she's telling this story, it sounds like you got dumped. Or, I'm not trying to be vulgar, but maybe the penis was amazing. You know what I mean? Because when a woman cries like that over a man, it's two things. It's either his penis was phenomenal or he was wealthy. Rarely is it both. You know what I mean? If a man is rich, the penis game is just terrible. You know what I mean? It's normally the broke guys with amazing penises. That's why we get stuck with these horrible dudes and children that they don't want to raise. We knew they were horrible from the beginning, but the penis was too bomb. So we got stuck in this situation. Now we're raising a bastard. Where am I going? By the way, this is not me. Like, I don't have kids, so I just went somewhere, okay? Ariana's mom is visiting, and to be honest with you, I didn't even pay attention to this entire scene because I was so focused on Sandoval's hair. Tom, what is it? Like, I keep on trying to figure out what is going on with this hair. Is he wearing like tracks? You know what I mean? Because the highlights, that blonde or whatever, platinum, whatever that color is, the texture is different from his original hair. So I'm just like, is he waking up every morning sticking tracks in his hair? Like, Ariana, you cannot be with a man that got a weave. Girl, no. It's either he's wearing tracks every day, which I wouldn't put past Tom, okay? Or he fried his hair trying to get those highlights. Because a lot of times when people are bleaching their hair, you're bleaching everything out of your strands. Like, you are killing it. You're basically destroying the hair. So maybe that's it. If it is his hair, then he probably just destroyed the texture so much. So that hair just will not cooperate with the rest of his hair because it looks a mess. Those streaks look a mess. I don't know what you're going through, what you're trying to channel here, but baby, you got to let that go next season. Cut it, dye it, get your hair back, because you used to have amazing hair. I don't know what you're going through, and it's okay. It's fine. It's your body, your hair, your choice. So you can experiment with it as much as you want. I'm just saying, as a viewer, I'm watching, I'm looking, and I'm distracted by this foolishness. You can do better, Tom. You can do better. Tom and Ariana start to discuss the mean text that Katie sent them when she was at dinner with her fiance. She was taking out time to send mean texts to the bridal party. She is like beyond bridezilla. And I'm at this point, I'm mad at everybody who allows it. Like Tom and Ariana, ain't no wedding worth it. It really, really isn't. Why are you guys allowing this heifer to abuse you? You don't have to deal with it. You don't have to accept mean texts from Katie. Let me tell you something. There is a blessing in the blocking, okay? You don't have to deal with that. I started using my block button about 2 years ago, and can I tell you something? My skin has cleared up. My days are brighter. I am so much happier now that I have blocked them devils out of my life. You can do the same thing, Tom and Ariana. Block that heifer. You don't got to deal with that. If I was you guys, if you want to be this petty, I will block her all the way out of my life. I will block her from everything. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and my cell phone. Out of my life, and then show up to that wedding in my bridal party gear and get ready to celebrate and act like I don't even know what she's talking about. I tried to reach you. What? Really? My phone has been on the fritz. I've used it before. It works. The Daily Mail is hosting an event at SUR, and they requested James to DJ because they like his music. And to that I say, the Daily Mail must be full of sadists, because why would you want to put yourself through that torture? Listening to the music of white Kanye? But then again, I think about it, I'm not surprised, because the Daily Mail is like TMZ with a dash of the Klan, so they're equally as deplorable as James. So I'm not shocked that they like what he's putting out. Deplorables coming together. We head on up to Azusa because Sheena's having some pool party up in Azusa. Why? Like, it's, you live in LA. You can have a pool party anywhere. But wait, I think maybe I missed why they're having a pool party in Azusa. Because you have to have a reason to be in Azusa. And no shade to Azusa. I don't know a lot about Azusa. I think the only thing that I know about Azusa is like some Holy Ghost revival that happened a while ago. That's all. Like, you know, if you're a Christian, especially if you grew up like Baptist or Holiness, you know about Azusa Street and the Holy Ghost revival. So that's about all I know. Write that in the comment section why they're in Azusa, because I totally missed it. All I know is that I looked up and they were in Azusa, and I'm like, why would you do that to yourselves? No shade. But I just, like, you live in LA, so why are you in Azusa? I know she's from there, but it's just like, and who's traveling? Something happened. I missed something, because who's traveling up to Azusa just for a pool party? Something happened and I missed it. I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention. No shade, but when Sheena comes on my screen, I'm just like, I can take a break right here. Oh, girl, I'm sorry. Katie is talking to Stassi about the issues that she's having with Tom, because she has a problem that he's like defending Ariana and not really putting his foot down and making her fall in line. And then she says this comment, and everything that I've ever felt about her or said about her on this on my reviews of this show just came together so beautifully. I was like, this was confirmed, basically. I was just like, this is what I said from the beginning. I felt bad when I said it, but now she just confirmed it for me. So I'm feeling a little better about myself. But anyway, she says this. She says, what do I have to do to get him to be on my side? Do I have to be blonder, or do I have to be skinnier? And remember when I told you that Katie has an issue with women who are, I guess, ignorant American society standard of beauty. And that's what Ariana is. She's blonde and she's thin. You know what I mean? She's like the cool chick. So she envies her for that, but it's nothing that she can, like, do anything about. Like, Ariana has not done anything to harm Katie, but Katie looks at her and she reflects on herself, and she sees that she's not this blonde. Remember, she tried blonde. It didn't work for her. Come on here. I'm telling y'all something. And she struggled with being a certain weight, you know, and Ariana has this hot body, and she's in, like, this thong bikini. It's a hot body term. I'm not saying that Ariana doesn't have a hot body. I'm just saying I come from a different culture, so what we think is hot is totally different. But, like, her culture thinks that this is what Ariana gives off is hot. So she looks at that and she doesn't want to say it, but she envies her for that. So she tries to find any surface issue to try to make it a huge problem with Ariana, instead of just addressing the fact that your problem with her is not actually her. You know, your problem is the fact that you don't look like that, and that you can't look like that no matter how hard you try. So she puts Ariana on this pedestal, and then she hates her for the pedestal that she put her on. But it's just like, girl, you got to work out your own kinks and stop, you know, putting your issues on other people and making them the problem. I told you, Waist trainer. Get a waist trainer and a gym membership or a personal trainer if you could afford it. But I don't know. I mean, y'all did that, what is that called? That prenup thing, and neither one of y'all had $80 to throw out a window. So I don't know. Maybe go hiking or something. I feel like you have to change the issues that you have with you. You can't be mad at other people for having things that you desire when they aren't doing anything to personally harm you. So Katie, just get it together. Go for a hike and get a waist trainer. You will be fine. Because I guarantee you, if Stassi wasn't groveling at Katie's feet to be in this wedding, Katie would have ran her over by now, because Stassi is skinny too, with blonde hair, and that's what Katie has always wanted or tried to attain. So she probably would have done the same thing to Stassi, but because Stassi is falling in line behind her, she doesn't really have anything to come after her. No shade to Kristen, but it's just like she's not the American or ignorant American standard of beauty. So it's just like she ain't competition, but she goes after the girls who are considered beautiful in the eyes of her culture, like the men of her culture. You know what I mean? So it's so sad, Katie. You're such a beautiful girl, but you don't know that. You're such a beautiful girl, and you have a wonderful husband who loves you and adores you, but you don't know that because you are so fixated on other people and things that you cannot change that you're not focusing on what you have in front of you. I hope you don't lose it and then figure it out. Girl, get it together while you still got it. I don't know if you noticed this, but I saw like Bravo was doing these cute little B-rolls of Shay and Sheena just having cute couple moments, and I just felt so bad because, you know, knowing what's really going on with the both of them, it's just like, oh, look at them in happier times. I hope they work it out because I think they're separated now. I think Shay filed for divorce. But I mean, if the ink ain't dry, Shay, get the papers out and you two work it out. You've only been married for a year. It's supposed to be, no, it's not. Isn't this like the honeymoon stage? Maybe you guys should separate. I don't know, but this is so sad. This show is so sad. It used to be so fun and messy. Can we get back to the fun and messy Vanderpump? I mean, I'm tired of like abusive relationships, addictions, and broken marriages. This is too much. This is too deep. This show is turning into intervention. I need it to be messy. Bravo producers over there, get back on your job. This is going way left. I just want them, being petty. Not this. This is getting too dark. Schwartz is wearing a muumuu, and I just had to point that out. This dude is wearing a muumuu. This is probably the problem with Katie. Her man is wearing a muumuu. I'd probably be upset too. Anyway, he's telling the group about the problems that he has with Katie, and then Sheena's just like, you got to do right. You got to make it up to her. Just trying to be a friend to Katie. Poor thing. Katie don't like you, girl. Anyway, she's trying to like stick up for her friend, and then Jax says something. He crosses the line all the time, but it was just like, oh, it was so dark and ugly what he said, and it was uncalled for because I thought that Shay was his friend. But again, Jax is terrible to everybody, even the people he loves or calls friends. He says that Sheena giving relationship advice is like Shay telling someone how to be sober or like stay sober, something like some comment like attacking his sobriety or like making a joke of his addiction. I was just like, come on, Jax, that's low even for you. So Schwartz listens to the group and he goes over to his fiance and he tries to make it up to her, but she is like rejecting his affection, and they go through this weird thing where it's just like, no, don't say anything to me, and oh, I want to say sorry, and they are too young to be this miserable. I feel like Katie and Schwartz are at the stage of like the old couple who have, we met when we were 16. We got married before he went off to war, and now he came back and we've been together for 60 years. Like at that point where you're just like annoyed at your partner because you've been together for every day of your life. They're already there and they haven't even gotten married yet. I just feel like they're too young to be so miserable, or too new in the relationship at this stage. Like they're not dating. They are like fiancés building something to get married. I just feel like they're here too soon. Don't you get to this point like after kids or after a midlife crisis? They're here already. What's next? Like what is that to look for? Katie's going to end up on Snap. That's what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, when that happens, I'm done reviewing this show. But you know what? Maybe not. That might be a good season. That was horrible. Somebody save Schwartz, please. The gang finally arrives in New Orleans, and Lisa, blessed Schwartz and Katie with a nice little suite for their a honeymoon suite for their bachelorette and bachelor party. Whatever. She gifted them a room. And Schwartz is going on and on about how nice this suite is. And I'm just looking around like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, it's no Ritz-Carlton. I don't, I'm not coming at the hotel, but the way he was going on and on and on, I would have, thought that he was staying in like the Four Seasons or something. Not this trendy motel like on Bourbon Street. What? Gang hit up Mardi Gras to like celebrate, but Sheena and Shay are going out to dinner because it's their anniversary and of their wedding. Oh, so sad. I hate when like real things happen and then you're watching the show and you're just like, oh, when is it gonna fall apart? Anyway, while they're out to dinner, Sheena gives Shay, she gives him a gift for their anniversary, and it's like a boudoir book of like just her in sexy poses and underwear. And I'm just like, this is an anniversary present you give to your husband. You guys have been through hell and high water this year, and you thought one of the roughest years that you've had in your relationship, you thought that the appropriate gift to give him was a picture of you in some ruffle panties bent over a sink. Girl, nobody loves Sheena like Sheena. Nobody. While the gang is having a good time, Sandoval decides to pull Katie aside to talk to her about her relationship and the issues that she's having with Schwartz and how they need to work it out before they get married. Sandoval was coming from a good place. Like, I did not disagree with what he said. I thought the timing was just wrong because Katie was like in, celebratory mood, so she just didn't feel like talking about it. And it was kind of like a buzzkill for her. And I, for the first time ever watching this show, agree with Katie. I felt bad for her because I'm just like, we're celebrating. And then you pull someone aside in the midst of their bachelor or bachelorette party and say, hey, your marriage is in trouble or your, relationship is in trouble. Understood. Just bad timing, Sandoval. And you just have to realize at this point, Schwartz and Katie are who they are. They are that couple who, and it's always this couple and a set of friends who are just always just killjoys of the group. They're miserable. They're not good together. They should not be together. Whenever there's like a game night or like a fun party event that the crew puts together, they come and everybody tries to hide the liquor because you don't want neither one of them getting drunk, because if somebody gets drunk, somebody's going to start fighting, somebody's going to get hit, a table's going to be thrown, somebody's going to get cracked over the side of their head, then one of them or both of them is going, one of them or both of them is calling the cops, then the next thing you know, you're setting up a GoFundMe for their bail money and everybody's just miserable. You don't want to invite them to everything because they just destroy everything. No tea, no shade to Rihanna, but they are literally the, albino Chris Brown and Rihanna. That's who they are. It's just like they love each other, but they are a toxic couple. And everybody who surrounds them is just like, you are going to have to either participate in the toxicity or just, be an observer of it. That's just who they are. And as long as you guys continue to allow them within your circle, you just have to deal with the drama that they bring. It's who they are. They are the killjoys of the group. You guys don't say anything or interfere, and you just have to do that, because at the end of the day, if they do somehow separate, it's going to be boys against girls. The girls are always going to feel for Katie, the guys are always going to feel for Schwartz. So it'll never work. So just leave them alone. Don't try to separate them. Don't try to bring them together. Leave them alone. Let it fall apart on their own if it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have to just be okay with witnessing this terrible relationship on a regular if you're going to remain friends with them. And I don't think the guys are going to give up Schwartz. Katie, I don't know. Them girls are fickle. They might dump her next season. Who knows? The girls switch friends so much, like they hate each other and then they come back together. They're a weird bunch, but I don't think the guys will ever give up Schwartz. Back at Sarah and White, Kanye is trying to get his job back, but Lisa is standing firm, and I'm really happy for her because normally she gives a lot of them too many chances, Jack in particular, but he's a star of the show, so I understand that. But he tries to get his job back and she says no, and then he goes on this whole tangent about Watch out for what? Kanye, you heard it here first, folks. Oh, he's so corny. He's like Carson Daly, TRL corny. He's so corny, but he doesn't know it. Like, nobody has ever told him that he's corny. This is why women have to stop sleeping with him, because if you continue to sleep with him, ladies, he will never know how corny he is and finally, like, disappear. He needs to. But you keep on sleeping with him, giving this man hope. This is how we got into this situation as a nation. I'm telling you, if women stopped sleeping with Donald Trump, we wouldn't be here. Back in New Orleans, and Stassi is crying about Patrick again. Sis, just get him back. Nobody will judge you at this point because you are not happy without him. Get him back. Even if he dumped you, grovel, do whatever you have to do because you're just not happy without him. And you've lost your entire self in this man. So maybe you need to get back with him to find out who you are and break it off and then leave out of the relationship stronger. Whatever you have to do, do it, because this weak, crying, bland Stassi is not what I like. I'm not used to this. I hope next season, this season you were taking notes, you were watching, you were seeing where you slipped. I hope next season you come back and you got your whole mind, because you're better than this, Stassi. I say it every review. You're better than this. This used to be your show. Now it's Jax's. See what happens? You can't sleep. You can't sleep. So in the midst of her crying about Jax, Jax, that's probably who she was crying about. So anyway, in the midst of her crying about Patrick, Stassi looks over to Jax and she's just like, can you just apologize for just being horrible to me? Like, just say sorry. She was like, you just treated me so terribly. And he finally apologizes. And I'm glad he did that because that's something that obviously Stassi really needed. And he apologizes. And then Jax does this crying thing and his voice starts shaking and he gets red and he's holding himself. And I don't believe it. I don't believe it for 1 second because Jax likes attention. And I think at that moment he realized he was able to still focus from Stassi and make it about him. So he started all this crying. And the one thing about Jax is he's always aware of the cameras. There are a few people in the Bravo franchise, or like the Bravo Housewife, or whatever these shows, the franchise of these shows, whatever it is. I'm missing the word. I know it's not franchise, but I'm using it, so there. You know what I mean? But it's particular people in each show who know when the cameras are there and how to work the cameras. A lot of other people get very comfortable with the cameras. So although they're there, they kind of forget and things slip out and they get too comfortable. Jax is never comfortable. He's always aware of the cameras. Nene, always aware of the cameras in Housewives. So is Kenya, always aware of the cameras. Who was always aware of the cameras in Beverly Hills? Vanderpump. Vanderpump is always aware of the cameras. That's why you have never caught Vanderpump doing anything shady or petty. You've only caught those cameras that she's not aware of. Like whenever you've seen Lisa Vanderpump caught in a mess or some lie, or when you've caught her trying to orchestrate something, it's always like some Bravo camera, hidden camera that they had hidden in like a bush, and the footage is black and white and grainy, so you can never really, so you don't get like that clear picture because she wasn't aware of it. When she is aware of them cameras, let me tell you something, she puts her best foot forward. So Jax is like Lisa. He's always aware of the cameras. So when he knew that was his moment, that he would get that screen time for that breaking down and crying and apologizing to her, he did it. I do feel like he was sorry, but I feel like he took his moment. He works this show for what it's worth, and I can't get mad at the dude for being smart. And Brittany gets upset with Jax because she's seeing him have all these emotions for his ex-girlfriend right in front of her. And I was Team Brittany. This time, not the whole episode. When she lost me. But I was Team Brittany in this moment because she's just looking at him like, you have all these emotions for a girl that you're no longer with. So you're like, the wheels are turning, and then she's just like, you're crying and apologizing to her, but you've never said anything like that to me, and you've probably done the same thing to me, if not worse. So Brittany gets upset and she leaves Jax, and all of a sudden all the tears and the sorrow that Jax was feeling, that left him, and he got mean again. And poor Brittany. Nope. I'm not going to say poor Brittany. No! I feel bad for her in this moment, but nope. We're not friends yet. I just realized there was a real moment for Jax. Jax had one real moment. I think it was in season 1. When it wasn't like a calculated moment where he wasn't aware of the cameras. He had one real raw moment. And that was when Stassi like when he had finally came clean to Stassi about cheating on her. And remember, oh, I remember that because that was good. Was Twitter around then, or was I on Twitter around then? Man, if I was on Twitter like that when that scene came out, whoo, Twitter would have been lit. Anyway, there's a scene and the Bravo cameras are following them and they're still mic'd and they are arguing about him. Stassi and Jax are arguing about him cheating and they're in like this gray or white truck. Whatever. I remember it being a truck and they are arguing about him cheating and he just breaks down and starts crying and just like screaming and banging on the car. He's like, I love you. I love you. Oh, it was so good. It was good TV. I was just like clenching my pearls the entire time watching that. I'm just like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Because Stassi was like, I didn't see her face because you could just see the shadow. But she was like she just sounds so like stone faced in the car. She was just like, she was upset with him, but she wasn't like showing emotion. But Jax was like, he was going so crazy in the car, like the truck was shaking. That's how, ooh, that was an intense scene. But I think that's the last time that I, as a viewer, remember seeing him be that real and raw. Everything else to me, I feel like has been calculated. Like he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get that fat Bravo check, because I'm telling you, I know he's getting top tier cash. I know he's the only one out of all of them really making some coins. But hey, it's his job and he's showing up and he's giving the work that should be rewarded, sadly enough. Get your weight up, cast members. Maybe you too can get a nice little apartment in West Hollywood and stop living on Section 8. Anyway, the episode ends with Brittany walking away from Jax, being upset that he had such a reaction about Stassi and not about her. So next week is going to be good. I think you know what, let me stop. I don't really care about next week's episode. The only thing I'm really interested in is if battered wife and Tom kicking the door, if that's the episode. If that's the episode, I'm geeked. I need to see that happen. I think that's the episode because I really didn't pay attention to anything else. I just want to see he's a battered wife, bang on the door, turns to the camera in full dress down drag. That's all I care about. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.